Hey there, and welcome to another download. Or perhaps it's your first download. Before we get to the news and the silly video, I just have to say, we have been so pleased to be hearing from all of you who are emailing us for our iPod contest from so many different places, notably China. A number of our friends in China are telling us that with the lowering of the Great Firewall for the Olympics, that you're able to see us for the very first time. So for all you first-time downloaders, a big shout-out going out your way. Well, to news now, and we're starting today in Brussels. That's where NATO foreign ministers, at just concluded meetings, say they're seriously considering the implications of Russia's actions in Georgia. The ministers say that NATO cannot continue business as usual with Russia until its troops leave. U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice says there must be no new dividing lines in Europe as a result of the conflict. The British Foreign Secretary echoed that sentiment.
The use of force is not a basis to redraw the map of the countries around Russia. I think we have decisively moved beyond the Soviet era for all those of us outside Russia.
Secretary Miliband stresses that isolating Russia is not the intent of NATO, but foreign ministers also agreeing to set up a new forum, the NATO-Georgia Commission, to deepen ties between the Western Alliance and Georgia. Well, to eastern Afghan city of Khost now. There, a suicide bomber taking the lives of 10 civilians in an attack near a U.S. military base. Now, the Monday bombing coming just one day before Afghanistan's National Independence Day celebrations. Tuesday marking 89 years that Afghanistan won independence from Britain. This year's ceremonies with President Hamid Karzai kept small and security extra tight. Well, some relative good news for you now. Storm clouds rarely considered good news, but this is what's left of Tropical Storm Fay, which at one point had threatened to grow much stronger. Still, Fay obviously bringing her share of heavy winds and rains across Florida and the American South, but much needed rains following a year-long drought there. Damage so far said to be minimal. Cleanup already underway in places like Key West. Said one resident, "It's just a cloudy, rainy day in paradise." Apparently not bothering this resident in the least. And now, as a public service, a little feature that we're calling What Not to Do During a Tropical Storm. Lesson number 1, do not go kite surfing on the beach. Ooh, ow. Despite tropical storm warnings and winds, one Ray Kearney of Fort Lauderdale deciding he still wanted to go kite flying. The results? Who could have guessed? A face full of sand, and before being dragged into a nearby parking lot. And he's lucky that it was just that. Mr. Kearney now healing from his injuries, the download wishing him well. Finally today, a smile. A very human way of conveying pleasure and happiness. And do you know why I'm happy? Because we've got robots. And not just any robots. No, gross robots. All these critters recently on display in Los Angeles at a robotics expo. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. These robots are specifically designed to communicate emotions. Emotions they don't have, mind you. Our personal favorite, Nexi, a robot that really, really communicates.
I can tell you that I'm sad, mad, confused, excited, or even bored.
Geez, all in 5 seconds? Well, I can tell you, you're scaring me. Or at the very least, you may be the first robot in serious need of Prozac. Take your pick. Also on display, a robot that, well, can do push-ups, we guess. You know, I have to say, in all the video that we have, we never actually see this guy actually pushing up. Oh well, hooray technology! Hooray indeed. Well, that is your download. We'll see you again tomorrow.